On the news, INEC fixes April 15 for supplementary polls in Adamawa, Kebbi states. PDP crisis deepens as court stops Ayu from acting as national chairman. And police arrest 781 offenders for electoral crimes during the 2023 general elections. Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Simisola Adigun. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has fixed Saturday, April 15 for governorship, national and state assembly supplementary elections across the country. In a statement posted on Twitter on Monday, the commission said a detailed official statement will be released regarding the supplementary elections. The announcement comes barely 1 week after the governorship elections of Kebbi and Adamawa states were declared inconclusive. While the election in Kebbi was declared inconclusive due to breaches of electoral laws, that of Adamawa was declared inconclusive due to margin of votes. The crisis rocking the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, appears to have reached another dimension on Monday after a high court in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, granted an interim order restraining Iyorchia Ayu from parading himself as the national chairman of the party. The presiding judge, W.I. Akpochi, gave the order on Monday while ruling on a motion ex parte filed by Conrad Tehide Utan. The order is pending the determination of the substantive suit, which has been adjourned till April 17, 2023 for hearing. Ayu was suspended late last week for anti-party activities in the wake of the PDP's loss in the presidential election. Reacting to the development, Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, who expressed support for the suspension, explained that Ayu played a major role in the colossal failure of the PDP in the 2023 general elections. Well, for more insight into this development, political affairs analyst Charles Idaho joins me now. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, it's clear as daylight that the PDP is in a crisis. Now, to what extent do you think the call for Iyorchia Ayu's removal as national chairman will either pacify his opponent or cause more disruption? Well, we couldn't get our analyst on the line. But moving on, about 781 offenders have been arrested by men of the Nigeria Police Force for violation of electoral laws during the 2023 general elections. Inspector General of Police Usman Alkali Baba disclosed this on Monday during a meeting with commissioners of police from the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT, as well as other senior officers. Giving more details regarding the arrest, the IGP said 185 cases of electoral infractions were recorded during the presidential election, with 203 arrests made. For the governorship and state assembly elections, the police chief explained that 304 electoral breaches were recorded and 578 offenders arrested. A group of Nigerians in Abuja have issued a warning to individuals and groups calling for an interim government to have a rethink. Operating under the aegis of the natives, the group on Monday also vowed to resist any attempt for interim government. Addressing newsmen, the supreme leader of the natives, Smart Edwards, appealed to the international community and all Nigerians of all tribes and races to allow democracy to grow by declaring their support for the president-elect, Bola Tinubu.
We are telling the opposition that in the National Assembly, there are 6 different parties that won the Senate. It's called democracy. And I tell you, there are senators who lost their seats, governors who lost their oppositions, and all this. What we are saying is the international community to ensure that Nigeria, which is their base point to Africa and the world, should be supported to grow its democracy. The people who were injured during the election, most of them are Nigerian citizens. They are also natives. We are calling on the opposition, particularly we want to correct. I want to correct the erroneous view of that Ahmed that there is no president-elect. If he said that in the days of Obasanjo, he will never appear in public again. This is a government that supports democracy. We call on everybody, whether the young people who are hot, or our party who is hot, or PDP who is hot, or Labour or NNPP, or 18 parties, to let us be patriotic again. The elections are over. The elections are still in process in court again. Please, give Nigeria a chance to grow.
Well, we return to our earlier story on the suspension of Iyachia Ayu as a national chairman of the PDP. Now, for more insights into this development, political affairs analyst Charles Idaho joins me now. Thank you very much for joining me. Now, it's as clear as daylight that the PDP is in a crisis. Now, to what extent do you think that the call for Iyachia Ayu's removal as national chairman will either pacify his opponents or cause more disruption?
All right, thank you for having me. I need to say this, that it's quite fortunate that following every election in Nigeria, following every general election, you always have PDP. You have implosion happening in PDP. Of course, that is not something we will encourage at all, because if you don't have a viral opposition in any democracy, you are heading towards a one-party state. And one-party state we can't afford in Africa, let alone Nigeria. So that's why all many Nigerians, all of us, whether you have leanings towards the left or towards the right, we must all fight to ensure that we don't have one of these parties sinking following the election that we have. But again, let me say this: I've asked lawyers regarding this suspension. Maybe they just wanted to try the Oshomole game, the Oshomole card, that where you had the world chairman of World B in Eastern West local government in Edo State, suspending Oshomole and removing him ultimately. But that can't work, because all the 18 parties, they do not have a unified constitution. PDP has its own constitution, which is different from that of APC, different from ABGA, different from all that. So section 59, subsection 53 of the PDP constitution does not give power to either the world executive or the local government executive or the state executive to remove any national officer. So if anybody is saying something that is contrary, the person is running foul of the law. So I think it may just be a little jot on the system. But I think PDP, I'm sure they have internal mechanism to always bring them back to regroup, and then to also go back again, refire, and stand their ground. That's what I think as a political analyst.
Now, do you think that the party's internal crisis played a role in its loss in the presidential election, and where does the party go from here?
Well, the party has to first, as I said earlier, what they need to do is that since in Nigeria, the concentration of power is usually very fierce, in a manner of speaking. So what they need to do is that they need to regroup, rally around themselves, find a way to do a rapprochement to people like Atiku, or not Atiku, but Wike, and some other big element, big wigs of the party, and see how they can converge and bury their hatchets so that they can go back again, rebuild, and find a formidable front to be able to fight even the incoming administration of the APC led by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's only that they can remain relevant. If not, if they allow all these internal squabbles and internal wranglings, it may spell doom for them, and then the future may not be very bright for the PDP, which of course has remained in power, or had made relevance since 1999 when we came to this present-day democracy that we enjoy in Nigeria. So I think all of them, even Nigerians, we also have to hold up the ladder for them, I meant to say, to ensure that we don't have PDP drowning. Because if PDP should drown, it will definitely affect democracy in Nigeria, which of course we can't afford at all.
Well, political affairs analyst Charles Idaho, as always, thank you for your time and your contribution. Moving on, delegates from 158 anti-corruption civil society and non-governmental organizations, faith-based groups, as well as youth and community-based organizations have called on President Muhammadu Buhari to strive to leave a legacy of a functional system where there is respect for the rule of law. Speaking at a one-day national conference on Sunday in Abuja, the CSO said all actors must operate only in full compliance with the Constitution, Act of the National Assembly, and all other laws of the country. The speakers also expressed concern that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, under the leadership of Abdulrasheed Bawah, had allegedly become a cesspool of internal corruption, among other diverse issues.
If the headship of an institution is not corrupt or is following the rule of law, nothing will be wrong with the institution. So it's like the leadership is the problem affecting the institutions now. And that's why in the agenda we are setting for the incoming administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we are saying that it should not carry the baggage of the present administration now into its administration. Nigerians need healing. And part of the things that will heal the land is to ensure that those who are posing problems now, when we talk about the violation of rule of law, deliberate disobedience to court orders, look at what Emefiele, the central bank governor, has done in that time. As a matter of fact, it's unheard of in same climb that the central bank governor will be contesting to be president. Immediately he sought to be, it is his right under the law to seek the highest office in the land. But he should have resigned because of this partisanship now. It has affected the running of the economy because the central bank is key, is central, is germane to the running of the economy of the country. So when he now sought to become the president of the federation now, it has caused dislocation in the system. And as if that was not enough, the Supreme Court of Nigeria, the highest court in the land, created by the Constitution now, gave an order that on the Naira redesign, for 10 days, neither the central bank nor the presidency uttered any statement. And that is awkward in any sane democracy. So we are now calling on the incoming administration of Ahmed Tinubu not to engage any of these officers. And let's look at Bawah. Bawah has flagrantly disobeyed court order, including the ones convicting him. He has not obeyed up to this moment now. And there are other orders of the Supreme Court, all courts, asking him to do one thing or the other that he has disobeyed. So all this, we are saying, are fundamental to the good running of the administration. If these are not done, we believe that we are just doing roundabout dancing.
In a related development, the President-elect Bola Tinubu has urged all to focus on the fight against corruption, being one of the greatest challenges facing Nigeria. At a press conference on Monday, the Oodua Nationalist Coalition, a coalition of 25 Pan-African Yoruba group, also rejected the call for the sack of the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdulrasheed Bawah. He argued that the removal of the EFCC boss will weaken the organization and fuel political interference in the affairs of the anti-corruption agency. The group added that the EFCC chairman should be allowed to complete ongoing investigations on some political figures, including those in the ruling party APC, who are desperate to ensure the removal of the EFCC chairman, hiding under the proposition that he has failed to obey court orders.
We are worried that each time a new administration comes on stream, the next thing is to remove the EFCC chairman. This time, Nigerians must mobilize against any such move, especially since the current EFCC chairman has worked diligently without favor to people in the ruling party and those in the opposition. The politicians have in fact been insisting that the EFCC chairman be removed. If the incoming administration is committed to fighting corruption, it will be suspicious if it falls into the hands of EFCC detractors. While we recognize the shortcomings of the EFCC, we are also conscious of the intervention and the historic intervention of the Anti-Graft Agency in promoting transparency and accountability in Nigeria.
The Minister of Defense, retired Major General Bashir Magashi, has attributed the operational successes being recorded in the various operational theaters across the country to the collaborative efforts among the tri-services of the Armed Forces of Nigeria. Magashi revealed this at a seminar organized by the Defense Correspondents Association of Nigeria, Deccan, in Abuja. Our correspondent Emeka Amako was at the event and files in this report. Crude oil remains the mainstay of the Nigerian economy as the country continues to rake in millions of naira from its export. However, oil theft has remained a source of concern to the government, with huge revenue diverted to the pockets of the perpetrators. In its bid to address the menace of oil theft, the Defense Correspondents Association of Nigeria has organized this seminar with the theme, Achieving Presidential Mandate in Curbing Oil Theft and Securing the Nation's Wealth. Represented by the Director of Army Affairs, Sunday Atta, the Minister of Defense, a retired Major General Bashir Magashi, emphasized the need for a sustained drive towards curbing oil theft in the country.
Our efforts in achieving the presidential mandate handed to the ministry is being achieved simultaneously due to the collaboration among the tri-services, especially in planning, coordination, and implementation of actionable programs and projects. Consequently, with this collaboration among the services, a lot are being achieved, while wastages of resources, time, and personnel are reduced to the barest minimum.
The idea and spirit behind the organization of this event by the Defense Correspondents Association of Nigeria arose from the fact that we consider ourselves as media stakeholders in the security architecture of the nation's economic space, particularly operations to bring about sanity in the nation's oil fields and maritime domain.
The Chief of Defense Staff, who was represented by the Director of Training and Operations at the Defense Headquarters, Major General Solomon Udunwa, restated the commitment of the military in protecting the nation's critical assets.
I want to say, beyond curbing oil theft, the armed forces is engaged in the broader sense of securing our wealth by also protecting critical infrastructure in the oil and gas sector. And this includes refineries, depots, the pipelines. Even right here in Abuja, if you pass the NNPC headquarters, you will see soldiers. They are still part of our duties.
The guest speaker, retired Rear Admiral Henry Babalola, during his presentation, conceded that the future seems bleak if the slide is allowed to thrive.
The August production is the lowest in the last 20 years. And if it stays the same, this could amount to a loss of about $20 billion at an average price of $100 per barrel. As has been argued elsewhere, it is not only a loss of revenue, but also loss of jobs, opportunities, and possibilities. $20 billion can cushion our debt burden, increase our distributable income, and shore up our foreign reserves. Another impact of the drop in oil revenue attributed to crude oil theft is that NNPC Limited did not contribute to the Federation account for more than 4 months.
The country had in recent times recorded an increase in the activities of pipeline vandals, resulting in a rise of crude oil theft and its attendant economic downturn. According to the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NETI, Nigeria lost a total of 619.7 million barrels of crude oil, valued at 16.25 trillion naira between 2009 and 2020. We'll take a break here, but still to come. Domestic airfares rose by 66.4% in 1 year. Details of the story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has fixed Saturday, April 15 for governorship, national and state assembly supplementary elections across the country. While the election in Kebbi was declared inconclusive due to breaches of electoral laws, that of Adamawa was declared inconclusive due to margin of votes. We also told you that fresh crisis erupted in the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, on Sunday as the Benue State chapter at the party's ward executive suspended the national chairman, Senator Iyorchia Ayu, for alleged anti-party activities. Ayu's suspension comes barely a few days after the party's National Working Committee referred the state governor, Samuel Ortom, to the party's disciplinary committee for probe over alleged anti-party activities. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Care home residents are being offered another dose of the COVID vaccine under Scotland's Spring Booster Programme. The jab is also being offered to over 75-year-olds in Scotland from April 11 and anyone aged 5 and over with a weakened immune system from April 24th. The latest programme of boosters comes following advice from the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation. We'll take another break here and return with more stories and business. To stay with us. Welcome back. Let's now join Mary Kanu for more stories in business. Over to you now, Mary.
Thank you, Simisola. Hello and welcome to Business News. Latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics indicates that domestic air transport fares rose by 66.36% in 1 year. In its report titled Transport Fare Watch for February 2023, the Bureau disclosed that in air travel, the average fare paid by air passengers for specified routes single journey decreased by 0.18% on a month-on-month basis from 74,702 naira in January 2023 to 74,571 naira in February 2023. However, on a year-on-year basis, the NBS revealed the fare rose by 66.36% from 44,825 naira in February 2022. And Twitter CEO Elon Musk has put the current value of Twitter at $20 billion. This is less than half of the $44 billion he paid for the social media platform just 5 months ago. In an internal email to employees, reference was made to a new stock compensation program in the San Francisco-based company and the allocation of shares to employees of X Holdings, Twitter's umbrella company, since Musk purchased it in late October. The compensation plan values the platform at $20 billion, slightly more than Snapchat's parent company, Snap, or Pinterest, both of which are publicly traded, unlike Twitter. We'll take a break now and return with Stock Market Report. Nigeria's equities market extended its profit-taking activities as investors sold stocks like NCR PLC and Unity Bank, which powered the negative close on the bourse. NCR share price dipped most from 2 naira 35 kobo to 2 naira 12 kobo, followed by Unity Bank. The market's benchmark performance indicator dropped by 2.08%, while listed equities value decreased by 622 billion naira as market capitalization closed below the 30 trillion naira mark. A day of losses for the market, with 22 equities recording losses against just 5 gainers. Now, at the close of trading, 100 million volume of shares were traded in 3,279 deals. Let's switch now to the global scene. Let's see how the stocks are faring. Now, after weeks of poor trading, these select stocks are having a bullish trading day as investors attempt to move on from the crisis that broke out in the regional bank sector earlier this month following the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. And that's why we can see that the FTSE is trading up by 0.90%, Dow Jones 0.51%, while Asia's Nikkei is also trading up at 0.33%. Well, that's all on Stock Market Review. Simsola, back to you.
Thank you very much, Mary, for that update. Now, a notorious militia in eastern DR Congo known as Cooperative for the Development of the Congo, CODECO, has executed 17 people it took hostage. The local traditional leader, Toko Kabanese, said that the people were taken hostage after 3 CODECO members were killed in a clash with a rival militia in the Bamboo community. He added that CODECO is one of a myriad armed groups operating in the restive mineral-rich region. He explained that the insurgents killed at least 17 people captured in the Jugu territory around 45 kilometers north of Bunia in the Ituri province. Well, it's now time for Entertainment Report on News Now.
Broadcasting company MultiChoice Group, in partnership with African Magic, organizers of the African Magic Viewer Choice Awards, has announced that the 9th edition of the prestigious award will be held between May 18 and 20th. The 3-day event will be a celebration of film production talent, culture, fashion, music, and other elements of African entertainment. Announcing the schedule for this year's edition, Busola Tejumola, head of content and West African channels at MultiChoice, who revealed that shortlisting had begun, added that there had been an increase of 40% in the number of entries compared to the last edition. Speaking further, Tejumola said the organizers will move to the judging phase soon and will announce the nominees on April 9, after which the voting portal will be opened. Popular comedian Samuel Animashaun Perry, better known as Boda Shaggy, has revealed that he makes over 20 million naira in a month for creating content. Shaggy, who has 1.7 million YouTube subscribers and over 11 million Instagram followers, while speaking in an interview, said his progress is all thanks to his consistency with his work. The comedian encouraged upcoming content creators to be consistent with their craft, while he also mentioned that working as a brand ambassador is another way for content creators to earn money. That is all on the entertainment segment of News Now.
And in sports, Tottenham Hotspur has sacked coach Antonio Conte. The Italian's exit from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium comes over a week after his explosive post-match press conference outburst following the 3-3 draw at Southampton. Spurs said in a statement late on Sunday night that head coach Antonio Conte has left the club by mutual agreement and thanked Conte for his contribution to the club. Well, that's it on our bulletin on News Now this evening. Thank you very much for watching. I am Simisola Adigun. Bye for now.